where they can store water for future use. And we also know that rural India is very agri-dependent as a main source of income. And we have involved the Krishi Vikas Kendra scientists in training the farmers to take on water efficient technologies and also water efficient practices, as in using choosing crops which is using less water. So these are some of the elements that we thought we should showcase in the thing. And during this celebration period, other than the regular activities that we would do as part of the project, we've also ventured into to looking at additional activities that we can bring in to try and celebrate a certain aspect of it, and also to try and bring additional elements. For example, the village water committees were engaged in taking a stock of JJM in all these 75 villages that we were part of. So, and these are some of the lessons we thought we should be sharing through such forums, and also partnerships created through these forums too. Given that, we'll have a video which will talk about the work that we've done. And thank you very much for listening to me. And I think we'll hand it over to Krishna. Krishna, please be in the video.
Water scarcity is a reality experienced by billions across the globe. In India, overexploitation, pollution and climate change all have contributed to the growing water crisis. Presently, less than 50% of the Indian population has access to safely managed drinking water. 600 million Indians are water stressed, and this number is rapidly increasing. Unavailability and poor quality of water affect women and girls the most.
हम पानी लेने जाते तो हेडपंप खराब पाता, वहाँ से पानी नहीं मिलता तो वहाँ खड़े रहते, वापस भी आना पड़ जाता.
Women have to travel long distances to fetch water, which prevents them from gainfully participating in other productive activities, affecting their socio-economic status.
कोई भी महिला ऐसी होती है कि उसे जॉब के लिए भी जाना है तो उसे उस लाइन में या उस भीड़ में काफ़ी टाइम लगता था पानी भरने में.
ये काम अपनी बच्चियों को सौंप करके जाती थी कि आप लाइन में लगे रहिए और जब नंबर आए तो पानी भर करके आपको लेके आना है.
Girls are forced to stay out of school due to the time taken to collect water.
स्कूल की छुट्टियां करनी पड़ती थी पानी के लिए.
Another major issue is water contamination. The absence of quality and safe water resources leaves people vulnerable to a range of waterborne diseases, a leading cause of morbidity and mortality.
यहाँ के पीने के पानी में फ्लोराइड की मात्रा बहुत ज़्यादा है, जिससे लोगों को पेट में दिक्कत, घुटनों में दिक्कत होती है. इसलिए पंचायत ने मिलकर पिरामल फाउंडेशन से संपर्क किया.
However, water unavailability and contamination can be tackled. Piramal Sarvajal's innovative solutions are designed to help India's lack of safe drinking water regions address issues related to access, delivery and quality.
अब उसकी दिक्कत नहीं है.
क्यों?
क्योंकि अब आरओ प्लांट हमारे यहाँ लग चुका है.
स्टँडर्ड चार्टर्ड बँक, इनेबल हेल्थ सोसायटी आणि पिरामल सर्वजल यांच्या तिन्हीच्या एकत्रित प्रयासाने जे आमच्या इथे पाणी फिल्टर बसवण्यात आलं, त्याचा आमच्या सर्व गावकऱ्यांना खूप फायदा झाला.
Standard Chartered Bank partnered with Enable Health Society and Piramal Sarvajal to provide an integrated water management solution to the last mile. In this solution formation of village water committee along with construction of water storage structures will lead to sustainable water management socially and economically. The sustainability of the Sarvajal initiative is maintained through the creation of village water committees, VWCs.
आमच्या VWC मधील ज्या महिला आहेत ह्या महिलांनी प्रत्येक घरोघरी जाऊन प्रत्येक महिलाला पाण्याचं महत्त्व समजून सांगितलं. जर आपण शुद्ध पाणी पिलं तर आपलं कुटुंब सुरक्षित राहील या दृष्टिकोनातून प्रत्येक महिलाला त्यांनी योग्य अशी माहिती आमच्या महिलांनी दिलेली आहे.
These decentralized committees are made up of locals suggested by the Gram Panchayat. Only one member is allowed from a family, and women who suffer the most from the water crisis are equally represented in the VWCs.
हर लेडीज को ये समझाना है कि हमें ये शुद्ध पानी पीना है, हमें अशुद्ध पानी नहीं पीना है.
Training is provided to each member on the operations and management of the water ATMs and purification plants. For societal level impact, VWCs are trained in behavioral change communication and other community mobilization and sensitization training. To tackle the problem of access, locals came up with the solution of an e-rickshaw water delivery agent.
गांव में जब हम प्रचार प्रसार करते थे तो वहाँ से समस्या निकल के आती थी कि हम यहाँ से पानी लेने कौन जाएगा, कैसे उठा कर लाएंगे, ये ज़्यादा समस्या आती थी. और उसके मतलब निराकरण के लिए हमने समिति सदस्यों की बैठक रखी और उससे ई रिक्शा चालू करवाया.
The e-rickshaw helps scale the initiative and enables more people to get access to safe drinking water. VWC members came up with this solution to expand the reach of the campaign by delivering right to the doorstep.
काफ़ी घर ऐसे हैं जिनके पानी ले जाने का कोई साधन नहीं है. कुछ औरतें अकेली हैं, कईयों के घर में साधन नहीं है, तो उन लोगों को घर तक हम पानी पहुंचा रहे हैं.
The e-rickshaws provided employment to locals and are also sustainable as it runs on electricity.
ई-रिक्शा चलाने से मुझे रोजगार मिल गया, बहुत अच्छा है. और जिसमें घर में पानी पहुंचाता हूं वो भी सब खुश हैं.
सेहत में भी बहुत सुधार हुआ है. जो हमारे चाचा ताऊ जो बुजुर्ग हैं हमारे, उन्हें ये पानी बहुत सूटेबल है.
साथ में बच्चों को भी समय से स्कूल वगैरह अपना जा पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि पहले बच्चे जब पानी भरने के लिए यहाँ आते थे तो उनका समय खराब होता था.
Women VWC members and operators are primary stakeholders in this model as they have a well-rounded understanding of water scarcity and the necessity of water ATMs. Women gain economic opportunities and confidence.
मैं जब से काम कर रही हूँ तब से मेरे परिवार को मुझ पर गर्व है, क्योंकि मेरे पास एक व्यवसाय है, काम है, और मैं अपने परिवार की हेल्प भी कर पा रही हूँ इस काम की वजह से.
Regions facing water scarcity issues normally have less rainfall. Thus, to ensure the sustainability of the water resource management initiative, rainwater harvesting units have been built to store reserve water sources, helping India solve drinking water relation issues and thus contributing to water security.
पीरामल फाउंडेशन जो है करीब 100 लाख लीटर के दो हौद बनाए हैं. उसके बाद 10 से 100 तक कुएं भी बनाए हैं.
स्टैंडर्ड चार्टर्ड बैंक और इनेबल हेल्थ सोसाइटी और पीरामल सर्वजल ने हमारे गांव की कायाकल्प बदल दी है.
Thank you. So as you can see, the challenges in rural India for access and quality is huge. And the work that we do is not enough actually, just a small part of what can be done towards solving such a problem. So let's go ahead in this webinar and invite our first speaker, Mr. Ramesh Sama. He is a retired Forest Services officer. He is a trustee of Dhruva, Greaserve, as also Shroff's Foundation Trust. He is an expert panel of Jal Jeevan Mission, a flagship program of Government of India, and a former project director of VASMO. He has supported the establishment of decentralized community managed water supply systems in around 14,000 villages of Gujarat. And he has also been instrumental in preparing the strategy for drought proofing at national level and ground watershed development approach in Gujarat. He has also been has authored many books, and his latest book is titled Footprints of Development, which actually takes you 55 years of his journey in natural resource management and building community ownership. He's also the recipient of Water Champion Award in 2022 by UNDP, IWA and TERI. So let's welcome Mr. Sama, who will talk to us about what it takes to influence community water action with a focus on local partnership. Over to you, Mr. Sama. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. I think I'm visible, audible.
You're audible, sir.
Correct. Good. Interesting. Water has changed its role. First thing, when it appeared on this earth, it was life-giving. Then next, it became a social good. Now it is a commodity, economic good. So that's the journey of water. What I have been able to witness in the last 25 minutes, whatever presentation has been done. You see, ultimate is that how we are able to connect and reach safe water. That means water which does not harm health of people. And it is accessed by everyone else, wherever they may. They may be on hill, they may be on a desert or whatever it is. So with this background, I will go slightly reverse. "30 years of journey I am part of. Drinking water at Government of India level, at Government of Gujarat level, somehow. And if I just recollect all that, you see, the main word which was used is linkage. We decided something, try to reach that. We try to identify the problem villages. We try to identify the villages which doesn't have source, no source village. We try to identify the villages which had any chemical contamination. Bacterial contamination, I will talk, I take differently. If we look at that, every 5 years, there was a slippage. Suppose all over India, we made a list. We try to reach to that in 5 years with 5-year plan. No source village will have a source. The chemical contaminated water would either be treated or would have another source. Till 2000. And 2000 was a watershed in the area of drinking water in India, where it was brought out that ultimately the access to drinking water would depend on the community. So community centering was put into, और community को किस तरह से involve कर सकते हैं, what exactly can happen. So all that learnings I have. Whether it was Social Dhara, it was a sector reform, whether it was 2008 guidelines of Government of India, everywhere it was factored into that community can only manage their own water supply system, especially in the village itself as an infrastructure. Different meanings, different places, different interpretations, involved, not involved. The fact remains, and that fact is that if you go to stakeholder analysis, who are the stakeholder in this safe water or the regular water supply, then the first thing would come. They are the stakeholders. They are the people who have to collect water. They have to store water in their villages. Even some of the livelihood activities, even animal husbandry, cows or buffaloes, whatever they keep, that also need water for cleaning and all that, house cleaning, everything. So it's centered around. And that there was a strategy that if woman is in a bigger stakeholder, if she gets involved into the whole this thing, then this could be that we can have any assured supply, whether from government system, private system, whatever. I will try to freeze it on that and just go on another aspect which Raman talked. If we go into the national level, we had 55 liters per day per person, the desired limit of water supply. And this was in drinking water, all supplies are in. Drinking water is not only drinking water, it is household stuff at whatever they need at their own. If you get into that, then there were evidences some of these states have raised to 100, down 150 liter. So ultimately, the scope of what we call as accessing water at their doorstep is increasing from 55, which is national. Some states have done 100. Gujarat has done 100 in 2007, 2008, and some of these states are going beyond. Because very fact remains that it is not only cleaning their houses, it is not only drinking water, it is not only their livelihood support. If you go to tribal area, they use this water only for kitchen garden also, for their badas and all that. So looking at that, if I put the things which Ramil has done it, and many others have tried, and one of the incidents which I remember from Gandhinagar, is there a necessity of separating drinking water from the household supply? Because they are two different things. So if that is one part, suppose it is not necessary, and what are the evidence? I will give one evidence of Gandhinagar. Gandhinagar is a very well-planned city. It gets water now from the Narmada. Wonderful water system is available. It's available to each house. But even then, the question comes, why 80% people in their houses have any individual arm? I not get into the gamut of why and why not. But very apparent analysis is that people don't believe in that the water which is given through tap and reach to their houses and stored in their places where they can start drinking, on way it has been a safe. So that is the question. I don't know how to rectify it. If water is so good, then yes, there have to be evidences and community has to be told and has to be proved that yes, the water which you get is quality water for drinking. Jal Jeevan Mission made a big shift. Jal Jeevan Mission started trying to tell panchayats and women members that you try to analyze your water. The water would be given to you. And the result which you randomly bring it to panchayat. Tell that water which has been collected from this state is safe for drinking. It is properly chlorinated, it doesn't have bacterial infection, it doesn't have a chemical. So it is a drinking. I don't know how much it has been done, how much we have been able to achieve. This remains the question. But then, yes, good beginning has been done. Now, I think I should concentrate only that if we accept that whatever the way we want to manage the drinking water, the community comes into picture. By law, we have given powers to panchayats to manage the water supply systems. So there is a shift for that, and panchayat ultimately are the provider of, and they are responsible for. So ultimately what we do. Now I'll come only on few things then what does it mean, community? First, I'll just talk about 2 minutes about the stakeholders. I think in my list, the stakeholders are much bigger in number than women. It is women, it is children, it is elected members of panchayat, it is department institution who are designing and maintaining panchayat departments. So all these are stakeholders because they have, all of them have some role to play. So ultimately, if we go with these stakeholders, the most important stakeholders which comes in women and children. And children, because there are something which is attached to children that also need attention. So it's not only supply of a safe water, but it is still beyond that. It's a hygiene. It's their what we say the children health, other part of children health. Those who are responsible, they also need to be as ASHA workers, health workers. All these which are part of government are responsible for looking at the health of children and women and looking to the even drinking water, whether it is safe and all that. That also is part. So ultimately, what we are talking about is the good government. Panchayat, Gram Sabha, the health facilities, the Swachhata, wastewater, and many. I will not go on water and renewable source because it's a big subject. It's difficult. And it has a different challenges. I would only talk about that what exactly community, how it can be motivated, can be involved, and what needs to be done. So with that,
we have 2 to 3 minutes more.
3 minutes, the audience. I'll just do that.
Yes.
You see, I think is understanding 8 things. First is understanding is community dynamics. Community is not homogeneous. Every village has its own dynamics. Every caste has its own dynamics. Every element has its own. So first thing that there has to be an understanding of community dynamics, which is very, and that is when you get effective Gram Sabha. Because Gram Sabha is a general body. And effective Gram Sabha about the drinking water is very, very important. So this is election of Pani Samitis are also part of Gram Sabha. And that's a process. If we don't undergo that process, then we are likely to get something people, those who are not elected or accepted. Second thing, I start with that we have to create demand. And demand for good water would come only when we relate with it with their health. Your diarrhea, your this, that, and there is a full way of involving them and telling them why is safe water. So it's a demand creation. Preparation of the community for doing all these, what need to be done, as I have told about water treatment kit, testing kit, and all that. So we have to prepare. And it's a process. It takes its own time. So this is the role of government has to be understood very well. What are their responsibility, how that get integrated, and how that community can demand. So that whole process has to be done if community involvement has. Supporting Pani Samiti is a very important. Electing Pani Samiti is one of the process which come from Gram Sabha and people, but then how you engage them, how you continuously support them, that's very important. And that's a process which takes its own time, and that's a continuous process. Enabling environment is, yes, very important. I'll not get into because there's not much time, but enabling environment for getting engaged and doing what needs to be done by the community is important. Training, capacity building, yes, we know it. But ultimately, what is more important is achieving sustainability. Sustainability has to be understood. It is either resource sustainability, whether it is institutional sustainability, or whether it is sustainability of the system itself. So with this, I have given some thoughts, some process, but what is more important is that evidences are very, very clear. If we don't generate demand, don't mobilize community, and don't make women as a stakeholder, anything which we create is likely to either slip or get into a thing where people are not able to have an answer, they are not able to solve their problems, and it will get into disuse or bad. History tells that whatever reforms in water sector we have done, it has slipped. Now it is ultimate. Ultimate is that every house must have water which is safe. So there is no scope of any slippage now. And I can only say, because I am working in the field, I have an evidence that systems are failing. Things are failing in spite of talking all, in spite of all that what we have done. So the only way is that we continuously support community, assure them that yes, good water is in their hand, they can get it, and their health and their future, all that lies with that accessing good, safe water. And that's good. If that we go on telling every time, I think we are likely to have a sustainable, good system to access safe water to each of the citizen of India, each house, and especially children. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I think very beautifully shared about the evaluation of not only the water management solutions, but also the importance of community ownerships and the various solutions that you need to solve this problem. Request all of you to write your questions and comments in the chat box with the name of the speaker you want to address, and we'll take it during the Q&A session. Now, moving ahead, I will invite our second speaker for the evening, Mr. Akshat Shukla. I think you heard him speak in the beginning of the webinar. He is from Piramal Foundation and deeply passionate about creating a sustainable impact at scale. He actually began his journey in the social impact space in the foundation's water initiative, Sarvajal, and that is the journey that he shared with you a while back. An engineering graduate of the National Institute of Technology and an Indian School of Business alumni, he is currently exploring pathways to drive social transformation by leveraging technology and curating hyper-local change-making networks, specifically in aspirational districts. He'll be speaking on building leadership for water action sustainability. Over to Akshat.
Thanks, Geeta. I think the only complaint that I have with you is that I've been asked to follow Samaji, which I feel is almost impossible of a task. I think my experience just begins scratching the surface as compared to what he has and how he has shaped water ecosystem over the years. But I'll try and do my best with the little experiences and lessons that I can share. So good evening, folks, once more. I think it's a very interesting topic that Geeta and Geeta proposed when the three of us were discussing about today's session. And I love the topic, by the way. I just thought, where do I begin, unraveling this entire journey from, about how we are leveraging leadership for water action sustainability. And as the video that we had shown earlier mentioned, whenever you think about water action, about sustainability, you do a bit of Google search. The first couple of facts that get thrown at you are, the fact that India has world's 18% of the population, and even that's old fact. And only 4% of water resources, fresh water resources. Way back in 1951, we had 5,100 cubic meters of water available per person, and that per capita number has dipped to 1,500. So the numbers have switched by 2011. And well, there's no hiding from the fact that the trends are alarming. And we also cannot escape from the fact that a large part of the nation is already grappling with water scarce conditions. But when I was also doing my research for this sharing, I also realized that the United Nations has a very beautiful definition for what water security entails, and it goes, it mentions that water security is the capacity of a population to safeguard sustainable access to adequate quantities of acceptable quality water for sustaining livelihoods, human well-being, and socioeconomic development. So while I wouldn't think that we need to remember the definition, I just wanted to put the onus of the part capacity of the population to safeguard. And that's where I resonate and am in entire alignment with what Samaji was mentioning earlier. I think some things become very clear from the definition. One, that water security is not only a water sector issue. It has broader socioeconomic, environmental, and political concerns. Secondly, an individual citizen needs to take every possible step to conserve water, because it's about the capacity of the population that we're talking about. And Government of India's Mission Life is one good step ahead in that direction. And thirdly, I think when we're talking about the capacity of the population, we also need to be aware of the fact that contextualized problems require contextualized solutions. We at Piramal Foundation, working across almost all the states in India, and you realize that the problems of public water systems are very different in the flood-affected Buxa district of Assam as compared to the desert district of Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, when compared to the hilly district of Baramulla in Jammu and Kashmir, and when you compare that with the coastal district of Ramnathpuram in Tamil Nadu. And essentially, there's a role that Sarkar, Samaj, and Bazaar need to play in solving the issues. But where am I going with this? I think what I'm trying to establish is bringing of Samaj, Sarkar, and Bazaar together is not something that can only be achieved in the metro cities of Delhi, where we have all the ministries, but it's something that needs to be achieved across all the 600,000 odd villages that we have in this country. And how do we do that? Our firm belief is that this requires leaders at the grassroots level. And I feel that's the crucial role that nurturing leadership will play in furthering the cause of water security. Over the last 18 months, we at Aspirational Districts Collaborative, it's one of the initiative of Piramal Foundation and Niti Aayog that is working across all the 112 aspirational districts to improve overall well-being of the citizens. We've been experimenting with various models for nurturing or honing this leadership. One model is of expanding the scope of the Gandhi Fellowship Program to have self-motivated youth try and tackle some of these challenges. And secondly, we're also working with hyperlocal leaders, the daughters and sons of the soil, who understand the socio-political nuances of their districts better and can solve some of these problems. But why leaders? What is a leader really expected to do? I think talking about Samaj, Sarkar, and Bazaar is one thing, but aligning disparate interests of these different entities requires someone who's able to bring people together, create or co-design a shared goal, design contextual solutions based on what the local problems are, coordinate efforts so that those solutions can be implemented by using resources, be it monetary, be it human resources, be it knowledge resources, effectively by bringing the stakeholders together. So I'll quickly walk you through the two leadership experiments that we've been doing. The first one is about Gandhi Fellowship. So for those of you who have not heard about it, it's an initiative of the Piramal Foundation, where we have self-motivated youth from the top 200 odd institutions from the country who undertake a 2-year journey in some of the most water insecure regions of the country, so that they can discover self, they can really hone the leader within themselves, and at the same time try and solve some of the most intractable problems through sheer passion and grit. In a sense, these are young folks who have limited or no prior experience in the water domain, but who, through their sheer ability to build coalitions, get people together, practice influence without authority, bring communities and district administrations together to drive behavior change at scale. And we have had a lot of success stories. I won't be able to delineate all of them today, but we have Diksha, who's working in Damoh, Madhya Pradesh, who's worked extensively with Pani Samitis to orient them on their roles and responsibilities so that we can build people's capacity, something that the water securities definition very clearly states, at managing the water infrastructure. We have Shubham, who is from Madhya Pradesh, but is working in Sirohi, who is ensuring inclusion of women in Pani Samitis, something that Samaji was mentioning as well, to ensure an equitable, transparent, and robust governance mechanism. We have Ritik, who is from Jharkhand, but has been working in Darang in Assam, and has engaged extensively with district administration to strengthen the social infrastructure that Jal Jeevan Mission implementation requires. We have Kriti, who's working out of Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh, who is harnessing the power of media, given her educational background in journalism, to amplify positive stories. And how can we really have pro-planet behaviors be adopted, at scale and at the last mile? So that's one experience that we have had. But at the same time, we also feel that sustainability of these interventions requires thousands of such micro leaders to be cultivated. And that's where the second experiment that we've been doing to try and build a change-making network comes in. We've been working with hyperlocal channel partners. These are nothing but community members who are daughters and sons of the soil. Like I said, they understand the socioeconomic realities of their context much better than we do, and much better than you and I can ever understand sitting where we are in Ahmedabad, in Delhi, in Mumbai, right? And how can we get them together, create a shared goal, and create a a self-multiplying force, and an unstoppable force to drive positive impact? Who are these change-making network members that I'm talking about? These are youth. How can we really enable the school students and youth to take charge in spreading awareness and ensuring adoption of pro-planet behavior, something that again Mission Life envisages? How can we work with Panchayati Raj institutions and maybe leverage Jal Chaupal as a platform where we participatively take crucial decisions in matters of water security at the village or the Gram Panchayat level? How can we work with self-help group members or women largely, and maybe create or institutionalize processes for timely water quality monitoring and surveillance, especially in the pre and the post monsoon period? And how can we work with hyperlocal NGOs, those the small NGOs who are working in these districts, who understands why community behaves the way they do? And how can we influence them, enable them to integrate solutions for water security in other programs that they're running. So these are the two experiences that we have had of nurturing leadership for water positive action. And I thought I'll share this very briefly with you. Thanks, and I hope you found this helpful.
Yeah, so one quick question, Akshat, which came out is somebody wanted to know, Priya Mishra actually wants to know that, could you kindly list out the stakeholders of Bazaar? So I thought, considering you talked about it.
Okay. So I think this is the best forum to discuss that, because what we are talking about in Bazaar, Priya, is, for example, our strategic partner, Standard Chartered Bank. I think they're not only bringing financial resources, that's definitely a crucial ingredient that they bring to the table. But apart from that, they have been our thought partners. And while government has money and mandate, we have Jal Jeevan Mission, which is already going on. We have Amrit Sarovar Mission. Government has the institutional structure to implement it. What I mean by Bazaar is, how can we also harness the power of the market forces, the non-government market forces, to experiment, to pilot, to demonstrate, to seek funding and knowledge in areas that maybe government might not be willing to fund right now, but ultimately will be open to then take and then scale. So that's why I believe it's very important that Samaj Sarkar and Bazaar come together.
Thank you, Akshat. I think Akshat shared about the collaboration specifically, which I think our participants caught very well, about community, government and markets, if you give it the English translation, and leadership among the youth. I've got a new line on this, Akshat, which says, go local to solve local. I just thought of it while you were
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'll maybe steal that.
Yes, please do. So now I would request all of you participants to please, on your video, we'll take a quick photograph. I think that would really look nice. We are a 100-strong team over here, and we should really have a quick picture of all of us. Yes, I can see all the videos coming on. It's like, lights nahi aise chalu ho jate hain, shaam ho jati hai, to waise. It feels good. Thank you so much. I request Geetha and all the others to quickly take print screens. I'll also be doing that. And print screens, sliders, because there'll be more videos open as you slide the videos. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. And now we're open for questions. We do have some questions here. I will read them out with the name of the person, whoever has written it. The first question is again from Priya Mishra. Mr. Sama sir, to take this, I wish Mr. Sama sir to take this question. How to overcome challenges of community mobilization, sensitization, and participation?
I would say that, you see, creating partnerships is very. So what is happening is we are looking water in a segment. We are somebody looking as drinking water, somebody looking as household, somebody looking for agriculture, somebody looking for any other thing. So water resource, if you look at, then water resources, there are evidences now that if community come together, and if there are 800 millimeter, 600 to 800 millimeter of rain, however erratic it could be, the community themselves can first thing arrest the water where it falls, recharge their own aquifers, do surface impounding, and ultimately have a judicious use of the water. The main is 85% that agriculture. And once a community come together, then there are evidences that water 600 millimeter is sufficient to meet all the requirements of water in that. So building block has to be villages, not the top-down schemes. Now, water is seen in many segments. Fortunately, a Jal Shakti ministry has been created of bringing that. But if you see at district level, there are 5 departments working for, and they are not together. So I would only tell them that once people get mobilized, very nice hope and innovation, which my friend has talked about. I have volunteered. New knowledge. So if all these are put together, then only water security can happen. What is happening wrong today is 2 things. One is that water crisis is being managed by transporting water. Some of the places to reach water is 100, 200, 500, 800 kilometer journey. From Narmada, water goes to Saurashtra. So this transporting of water, and then that water is not reused and given 150 liters per head, is going to create disaster. Pollution of rivers and streams is another, that fresh water availability is squeezed. So there are 3 fronts. One is necessity of community coming together to manage their water at the village level by in a scientific manner which is available, known as water sharing. And 600 millimeter of range would be sufficient. That's one part. Second part is that there is there are very clear indicator now that how you can save the water. The cultivation methods are wrong. Flood irrigation is something doing a lot of damage. So all these are possible, and some of the NGOs have created models, beautiful models. And where in the area where it was told that 3 to 4% only will be area can be irrigated because it's all heavy rain, this, that, 100% irrigation has been done. So ultimately, if resource has to be managed, people have to come together, leadership have to be, innovation have to be brought, sharing of knowledge has to be done, saving of water methodology, technology has to come in, which is micro irrigation. So all this put together will bring the water security. Not water security that we pump water 1,000 kilometers. Now, very unfortunate things is happening in this country, that most of the towns and cities are dependent on borrowed water. They don't generate their own water. And it is 300 LPCD or 400 LPCD, Ahmedabad is getting 300. So if that water is taken to cities, they flush their latrines and they don't retreat it, and they put it in rivers and again pollute. This has to stop. This is a great risk of water insecurity. So we have to look at community again come important. Community coming together can do miracles, and there are ways of doing it. There are things have to be done. And if that is done, there are many, not one. Actually, now you can access that and know that which area, which NGOs have worked and have brought water security to a cluster of villages, to a whole taluka, and that is what's important. So looking at water resources as a total water resources, not as part of use, if that is done, I think there is a big future. We will not get into a bad situation. Pollution of rivers have to stop. Water has to be reused. And transport of water over long distances has to stop. If all these at national level, at our level, community coming together, finding out ways to have a judicious use of the water, allocating water for different uses and using it as a community, those innovations can be brought out. And last, the least, which I don't know, it looks different for me. I say that there is a reason for India now that water supply, which is for drinking purpose, has to be used. Drinking water, you need only 4 liters per or 5 liters per head, and it needs lot of cautious, lot of safe, lot of things. How do you do it? If you club it with the water which is needed by villages or by use, so I think we will go. So ultimately, what small innovations you are doing, that there is an ATM, 5 liters of water they can access. So safe water is now separated from the water which is household. And that may secure and tell that yes, everyone who is getting water is drinkable, good for health, and ultimately for good for. So these water resource and water use has to be discussed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have 2 more questions, and I'll just quickly take only 2 questions.
Please.
And I'll club them together because I think partially it has been answered, and maybe you can take extra nuances to answer these 2 questions. One is your view on how far we have made progress as a country in terms of water security. This is from Meenu. And the other question is from Devinder, who says, with the drastic climate change, the demand versus supply of water will see drastic change. So do we have enough infrastructure to reduce the gap of water scarcity and water wastage in India?
Yes. Climate change, I would take first. There are evidences. Now it has already arrived. We know what is going wrong and what will happen to us. So climate resilience, especially in agriculture, is very, very important. Things are emerging and things are known. Ultimately, again, I don't know, I may be too obsessed with that community. That's the only way. That's the only way to overcome the challenge of climate change. You see, it is going to affect 3 times. There will be big change in temperatures, lot of evaporation, lot of failure of the crop, and somebody is predicting, and that is what G20 and others forum is talking about, and that's fearful, that by 2030, we may have big pockets of hunger, food security. So first, water security would lead to insecurity of food, and that is going to be a disaster. We cannot afford. So ultimately, whatever water we get as in a drop, where it stops, how it is conserved, how it is used properly, that is the way we can manage water. Actually, if you look at deserts, people have been living. They have a traditional water harvesting system. And ultimately, if those water harvesting system on which they rely for hundreds of years, centuries, if we forget all that, I think we are going to do this. We are certainly going to do it. I have been telling to Jalliban, and they have started doing it. When all your traditional water harvesting structures and system must get it right. It is part of our system of security. It is part of our learnings of centuries. So that is one part that has to be taken care of. I think unfortunately we have a crisis जब होती है तब हम कुछ चाहते हैं. I don't know when our next crisis would be. Maybe
hopefully not for a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think you've given insights, and you have stressed strongly about community ownership, which has beautifully come out in what you said. Over to Geeta, who would like to share another interesting video with all of us.
So we are going to be showing a couple of videos, which is very short videos. And this is actually from our community itself. Like this is community speak completely about whatever access in the way that we have created within their villages, and also about water conservation. That is also, it's a 2 video. So I would suggest Krishna to play those 2 videos.
हमारी शादी हुई है, मैं इसी गांव में रहती हूँ और हमारे राज्य में इतना दुख हो पानी को, कुएं में से खींच के लावे और कुएं में पानी भी नहीं रहे हो, हम छान के पानी पीते।
पहले हमारे घर में हम पीने का पानी जो नल का था वो यूज करते थे, उसमें फ्लोराइड आता था। उसके बाद में सप्लाई देने वाली गाड़ियां गांव में शुरू हुई, उनसे कैंपर लेते थे। लेकिन कभी कभी किसी कारणवश अगर लेट हो गई और गाड़ी निकल गई और पानी हम भराने में असमर्थ हो गए, तो फिर दूसरे दिन तक उसका इंतजार।
यहाँ पहले बहुत खारा पानी था, वो पीना पड़ता था, हारी बीमारी बहुत लगती थी। तो हम पहले अकबरपुर से लाते थे, तो हमारा बहुत समय नष्ट होता था कि मोटरसाइकिल बाइक ऐसी चीजें में लाना पड़ता हमारे, कभी पति को अम्मा काम है या काम है, तो ऐसे बहुत। और अब जिस दिन से 2 साल से आरू लगे गांव में, उस दिन से बहुत फायदा है रो गांव में, और माता बहन कोई दुख ना पा रही पानी को, और यह बात को सब अपने पूरा गांव फायदा उठा रहा है। अब जाके चेंज हो, नहीं तो लेडीज बहुत दुख पा रही है गांव में। तो अब हमारे श्यामी में भी आरो लग गया है, तो श्यामी में हमारा समय नष्ट नहीं होता है कि 24 घंटा पानी मिलता है हमें श्यामी में। तो अब हमारे आदमी का भी समय नहीं खर्च होता है, नहीं हमारा भी, तो जब चाहो जब ले जाओ।
लेकिन जब से सर्वजल चिराना में शुरू हुआ है पीरामल फाउंडेशन की तरफ से, उसके बाद में वहाँ 7 दिन 24 घंटे पानी उपलब्ध है। जब भी हमको कितनी भी क्वांटिटी में जरूरत पड़े वहाँ से लेके आते हैं, और उसकी प्राइस से हमको ये थोड़ा सस्ता भी पड़ता है और अच्छी गुणवत्ता का पानी है। इसलिए हम सर्वजल योजना को हम धन्यवाद करते हैं।
ये लगातार इसे पी रहा हूँ, मेरे को इससे बहुत फायदा मिला है। मेरे पेशाब में प्रॉब्लम था, पेशाब क्लियर नहीं हो रहा था, मेरे को किसी ने बोला तुम फिल्टर पानी भरपूर पियो, तो मैं भरपूर फिल्टर पानी पी रहा हूँ। इससे मेरे को शरीर में बहुत फायदा हो रहा है, और मैं तो यही सभी भाइयों से कह रहा हूँ कि ये फिल्टर पानी पियो, इससे पूरा रोग, दर्द में कोई परेशानी नहीं, और सर्वजल सबसे अच्छा जल है।
पीरामल कंपनी से वाटर फिल्टर लगा हुआ है, तब से गांव में शुद्ध पानी पीने के लिए व्यवस्था की गई है, और लोग बहुत खुश है इससे कि जो मुझे मौका मिला है। 5-6 महीने से मैं इस ऑटो ड्राइवर का काम कर रहा हूँ, और गांव में हर घर पानी भी पिला रहा हूँ, तो उसकी सेवा मुझे मिली है। तो लोगों की तरफ से मेरा सम्मान भी बढ़ गया, और बच्चों तक मेरा भी पहचान हो गई है। और जो पानी का डिलीवरी है हर रोज़, और उनको हर रोज़ अपने घर पे मिलता है, करके वो संतुष्ट है।
Krishna, can you also bring the other video on to the last video?
जैसा कि राजस्थान में पूरे में ही पानी की समस्या रहती है, इसी तरह हमारे गांव में भी आज से पूर्व जब हम देखते हैं 15-20 वर्ष पूर्व पानी 250 या 300 ज्यादा से ज्यादा 400 फीट पर मिल जाता था। उसी स्थिति में आज पानी 1200 फीट पर भी उपलब्ध नहीं है। कई बोरिंगे तो 1200 फीट पर भी फेल हो जाती हैं। वाटर कंजर्वेशन के तहत हमें बरसात का पानी इकट्ठा करना चाहिए, उसके प्रति हमें लोगों को मोटिवेट भी करना चाहिए।
पीरामल सर्वजल योजना के तहत स्कूल के अंदर 2 बारिश के पानी के संचयन के लिए टैंक बनाए गए हैं, जिनकी क्षमता 1.5 लाख लीटर है। इसके साथ साथ पीरामल समूह ने 10 सोकपिट बनाए हैं। ये सोकपिट वर्षा जल को जमीन के अंदर भेजेंगे और रिचार्ज करेंगे, जिससे जल स्तर ऊपर उठेगा। इनकी आज के टाइम में राजस्थान में ऑरेंज जोन में, डार्क जोन में बहुत ज़्यादा उपयोगिता है। वर्षा जल नीचे नहीं जा पा रहा है, जिसकी वजह से जल स्तर घटता ही जा रहा है। तो मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने भविष्य की सोच रखते हुए ऐसे 2 निर्माण कराए हैं।
बरसात के पानी को इकट्ठा करने के कुछ टैंक गांव में बने भी हैं, जो पीरामल फाउंडेशन की तरफ से बनाए गए थे। उनमें 75 हजार लीटर पानी स्टोर होता है, जिसको पेड़ पौधों में देने के लिए, व नहाने धोने के लिए, व पशुओं को पिलाने के लिए प्रयोग किया जा रहा है। एक अच्छी व्यवस्था वो नजर आती है। तो मेरा मानना है कि हम इसी तरह बरसात के पानी को इकट्ठा करें। हर घर का पानी जब इकट्ठा होगा, हर घर में इस तरह के टैंक होंगे, पानी को सुरक्षित रखेंगे, तो पानी हमें उपलब्ध होगा। व पानी की जिस किल्लत का सामना आज हम कर रहे हैं, उसे हमें निजात मिलेगी।
मैं अभी स्कूल में टीचर करके यहाँ पे काम करता हूँ, संत गजानन महाराज स्कूल में। पीरामल कंपनी की तरफ से ये वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग सिस्टम का ये टैंक तैयार हो चुका है हमारे यहाँ पे। तो इससे हमारे स्कूल के बच्चों को पानी मिलेगा, और इसकी जो हमारे स्कूल का जो वेस्टेज पानी जाता था पहले हमारे टेरिस का, वो अभी इसमें पूरा पानी यहाँ पे इकट्ठा होगा। और ये पानी अच्छी तरीके से प्योर होने के कारण जब धूप में हमारे स्कूल में जो पानी कम गिरता था, तो इसमें से हम बच्चों को डायरेक्ट पानी पिला सकते हैं। जैसे पिछले साल हमारे यहाँ पे जो धूपकाला था, वो टाइम में हमारे बोरवेल सूख गए थे, और बच्चों को पानी पिलाने के लिए हमें बाहर से पानी लाके वहाँ पे बच्चों को पानी पिलाना पड़ता था। हो सकता है ये सिस्टम लगाने के बाद अब हमारे जब धूपकाला आएगा तो बच्चों को हम यहाँ से ही पानी पिला सकेंगे, क्योंकि ये के लिए पीरामल कंपनी का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ। और ऐसे ही और भी स्कूलों के लिए पीरामल कंपनी ने ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट करने को होना चाहिए, जिसका कि डायरेक्टली बच्चों को और जो स्वच्छ पानी लोगों को मिलेगा उसको फायदा पहुंचेगा। तो मैं फिर से पीरामल कंपनी का धन्यवाद करता हूँ।
Thank you all for joining us. I would like to close the webinar with a thought that that community ownership is the key to water security. I think that has been underlined more often than not by both our speakers. And we will all need leaders in taking forward, and we all should ourselves also, I think, be leaders in taking forward the water sustainability agenda for a water secure future. It affects all of us. I mean, I can't imagine life without water. So yes, I'm there to be a leader on this case right now. Thank you. You have been a lovely audience, and I request all of you to write your comments in the chat box before you sign out, so that we get feedback and we can give you a better experience the next time in our series. And also request you to share and comment on our Piramal Sarvajal Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter handles, and share your comments. Thank you so much. So Tutan Saha wants the videos, so I guess we can share it with him. Yeah.
Instead of saying,